Good morning, everyone, or afternoon over here in the Netherlands. How are you all doing today? Good to get back on winning track against Brighton. Welcome to my guest, Kev. Always good to see you, mate. How are you doing today?
I'm not too bad, Jens. Yeah, not too bad at all. Always happy on a Sunday when Spurs have won the night before. It doesn't muck your weekend up,
Absolutely. You know? I do like to be beside the seaside, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Life is so much better.
Yeah.
You can read the papers, watch TV. It's not,
Yeah, there's no deep depression or anything like that, thinking what on earth happened.
Social media isn't so bad, yeah.
Yeah. I apologise for last week. I didn't feel so good on Sunday morning, funnily enough, so I thought it was probably a good idea to cancel the show.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah.
I'm not. We're not going to do anything on the Frankfurt game because it wasn't live over here, and I couldn't find a decent stream for love nor money that wasn't buffering or cutting out every 5 minutes. Did you watch it, Kev?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Were we any good? I heard that we should have really scored 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, easily. So,
Yeah.
I used that Windows program that we discussed before.
Oh yeah, yeah. I tried that. Well, I haven't tried to use it for a few months, but the last time I tried to use it, it didn't let me in. It wasn't working.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time. I've got other means of access, but
yeah,
they're down at the moment, so that one's all right. But no, we've done very good. I'd like to see us nick a couple of points, all points there, but I'll take the draw all day long. It's just a shame we lucked out in the other one the other week against Lisbon. That was the one that was the important one that we let go in the last couple of minutes, as Spurs quite often do. But onwards and upwards because we got them again on Wednesday night. So
yes, yeah,
we need to win that one. That's without a doubt.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think they're really as special as everyone's always banging on about them. How good they are. I mean, they won the Rugby League, didn't they? But I don't think they're as good this season. They're not doing bad in the Bundesliga. I think they're 5th or 6th.
I haven't checked lately.
Yeah, the Bundesliga's a bit of a sort of two-team league. Like Leipzig were up there for a little while, but it's Union Berlin at the moment, which is a big surprise.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get on to the matter at hand. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Tottenham. The team, as you can see, rolling along the bottom was excuse me, I'm a little bit croaky today. Lloris in goal, Romero, Dyer, and Davis at the back, Sessegnon and Doherty. Good to see you back, Big Doc. As wing backs, Højbjerg, Bentancur, Bissouma, Harry and Son up front. So finally, we get the 3-5-2, which everyone seems to have been banging on about and wanted to see. And so, what did you think that we finally got it? And how did you rate it?
Perisic, I beg your pardon, Pierre-Emile, he done the best out of all of it. It freed him up so much. He was able to do so much more runs, forward running, and his aggression all over the pitch because he knew he was covered in certain areas that he was trying to cover madly in previous weeks. I think that was one of the positives on it.
Yeah,
as you say, it was great to see Doherty back, but Højbjerg, he was a revelation yesterday. He was my man of the match. Other people were arguing, but I know he's one of your favourites for obvious reasons. But
he plays like that for Denmark, though.
Yeah,
he's more of a box to box midfielder. He has Delaney in there doing a lot of the. Well, they're both quite similar players. They're both really decent defensively, but they're also pretty good at getting up top as well. And Delaney's got a hell of a header on him as well.
But he's a motivator as well, motivator of men around him, you see. This is what I like about him, He can push on with other people and give them a gentle kick up the backside to urge them on and tell them where they're going wrong and whatever, whether he's right or wrong. But it works. It seems to work.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So let's start off having a chat about the first half. Great save, I thought, by Sanchez on that sunny free kick in the fifth minute.
Yeah.
And it looked like maybe Sonny was back to his old self. But apart from that and the cross for the goal, there still seems to be a lot of mistakes in there. Do you think there's something in his head? I mean, obviously everyone's been affected by the death of Gianpiero, but he's not been playing well since long before that. What
all season he's been running in treacle at times, hasn't he? He's just like, look at the ball, he put his head down, then all of a sudden he'll stop and think, what am I doing? And yes, there's end product. He got those 3 goals in that 13-minute spell, but even yesterday he's running and he's turning around and then thinking, what do I do now? He runs himself into a blind alley, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe he should be playing at wide where he thrives, and that's, I don't know. He's too tight up against the middle, and he gets surrounded very quickly and taken out of the game, and he turns into trouble and it breaks down.
Yeah.
He's liable to score at any minute, at any time in any game. This is the thing. You can't write him off,
No.
As you said about that offside goal later on, another day that was stood, but.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they said that VAR had a look at it, but
it was a bloody quick
I still
look.
think that's pretty close. I don't know how the VAR works. Those lines never look straight to me, and it's all a bit of a mystery. I think it's sort of an old boys club, isn't it? Oh yeah, we'll get this referee in to do that, and referees, they're only human. They have certain prejudices, and
so do the fans, though, don't they?
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's just against us. It's obviously against other teams. If a referee's had a bad game, or has had a lot of grief from a team that they've reffed before, and then they're on VAR for one of their games, and it's a close one, they're thinking, well, they gave me a load of grief, so here you go, fellas. Sorry.
No, you took in referees. Look, that tackle on Harry, which took him on the back of the ankle yesterday. That was a sending off for Romero, Emerson last week. I said Emerson Royale last week. But it's back down the back of the leg. And whatever. So what's one and what's another? So I thought he was going to be cropped. I really did. I thought that's him out for a month.
Same here. Yeah. That was a bit worrying. That was.
Yeah.
But then Doherty had a decent chance. I thought he played pretty well. It's he understands what being a right wing back is. Better than Royale.
He has got some end product.
Yeah. I'm not a big Royale hater. I'll call it as I see it, to be honest. And as I've said before, I always give a player at least a season, some even longer. But it doesn't seem to be working for him. This ridiculous thing that I saw the other day. Apparently, he spent £100,000 or euros trying to make himself better.
800, I read. 800. Yeah.
When you're playing in the Premier League, why should you do that? You should have the natural talent to be able to compete. And I still don't get Conte's love for him. Do you think it's because he's a bit more defensive than Doc, and definitely more defensive than Spence?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's all about he's not marauding back, because he'll get the ball on the halfway line and he'll turn back into his own defence and pass the ball backwards. And when he's playing more forward, he will run forward towards the corner flag, but then that's where it breaks down again, because he won't put in a cross and he'll play back again. So you think, and as I said to you before, I believe Harry Kane won't pass him on it again because he knows he's not going to get the ball back. He'll look for other options, or he'll take the shot on. So
Yeah, they don't. I don't think so much seems to go down that right hand side though.
Yeah,
I don't understand why when Perisic is playing and Sessegnon, for some people he was man of the match yesterday. Sessegnon, I don't agree with that myself, but why are they not putting it down the left more often?
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you say? Then Bentancur had a decent shot from outside the area, which again Sanchez pulled off a very good save for.
Yeah, it moved quite well in the air, didn't it? Yeah.
Sorry?
It moved quite well in the air.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, the the options that we have in central midfield now.
Yeah.
That we've got him, we've got Højbjerg, we've got Basuma. Basuma still doesn't look 100% fit to me. I don't think he played particularly well yesterday. But then obviously we got Skippy coming back as well. And he only got 5 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, he's still got that drive in him, though, Skippy. He's like Højbjerg player. He's not too dissimilar, but he's got that drive in him as well, and he reads the game so well. It's natural. It's a natural thing. You can't train someone to that level, you know. It becomes a natural thing.
Yeah. And it's nice that he's a local boy, and I believe he's a Spurs fan as well. Although it doesn't really matter, does it? But, you know. And then the Kane goal. Again, indirectly from a set piece. Yeah. Corner comes over, comes back out, and then Sonny with a lovely cross, and that was a great header.
Yeah, but the way he floated it in as well, it wasn't a bang hit wallop. It was weighted. It was you know, it was caressed into the penalty area. You know what I mean? One that you can go for. You know.
Yeah.
But as an assist, and so Sonny had a bad game, but he still got an assist. So you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And we kind of hope that he gets back to his best. How old is he now?
28, 29, I think.
28, 29, yeah. So he should really be coming into the peak of his power, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
As we've mentioned before, very possible that those K-pop girls and the advertising has maybe turned his head a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can see that he really cares.
Yeah.
After he scored that hat-trick, I don't know if you've seen the hug that he had with Gian Piero.
Yeah.
That was kind of special, and I don't think I've ever seen it at Spurs. Now, obviously, we haven't always had a fitness coach which has been sat on the bench, or maybe we have, but we didn't really know about him. But due to the age of internet and stuff like that, you know about all the back team staff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's quite amazing how he's been, the amount of respect that he's got on Twitter, Gian Piero, from the players, saying they're really going to miss him, and even though he ran them to the point of puking up.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, he's really going to be missed. Rest of the first half, Brighton were on top really, but they didn't really worry us that much, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to this new Tottenham where we defend well. It's totally unreal to me. You know, I don't trust it because it's so new that I think they seem to know what they're doing. You know, and I think this is not like a typical Spurs for the last 40 years. You know, there's always something they're wrong, but they seem to be doing it across the back. Yes, they do let in goals here and there, and especially last week, obviously. But as a unit, they seem they're well drilled. You know, and it is possession based as well. You know, and they take anything that gets thrown at them most of the time. You know, and then now and again it's self-inflicted when it does happen. You know, this is the annoying thing. When we do let in goals, most of them are self-inflicted. You know, for losing control, not playing according to plan. You know, and they must. I was going to say Conte must be pulling his hair out, but not the best thing to say.
Yeah, I mean we've always had some great defenders, haven't we?
Yeah,
Steve Perryman, in my time anyway. Steve Perryman, Ledley King, Gary Mabbott when he was playing back in as a centre back, but there always seemed to be one or two weak links.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I mean, I was very young back in the early 80s, but in my lifetime, I think one of the best central defensive partnerships we had was Mabbott and Goff.
Yeah, Goff. Yeah, only that one season, yeah.
Yeah, it was only one season, wasn't it? That was do you know why he left?
I think it's something to do with women.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there's two rumors. One was women, and the other one was because whoever wouldn't sell them direct to Rangers or something. But that's kind of, it was kind of, they wouldn't sell it. They had to be seen. He had to go somewhere else first, kind of thing. So,
okay.
There's two rumors, yeah.
Yeah, that was a shame because I thought we looked proper solid then. It was Jury and Lineker up front.
Yeah.
Paul Allen. Yeah, that was I think that was
I
it.
think with Goff, when he started playing and I liked him so much, I thought, this is it. We've got him here for 4 or 5 years now, and also next minute he's off. I thought, damn, and
those were the wonderful Irving Scholling days, weren't they? Scholar days.
Yeah.
So who knows what was going on behind
Money
the
over,
scenes?
Money over results. Yeah, it's always about the money with that lot.
Yeah. Okay, on to the second half. Again, Brighton came out pretty well, I thought. I was impressed with Trossard and Gross.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised that bigger teams haven't come in for them. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're consistent enough because I don't watch enough of Brighton to know.
Yeah.
But they look really lively.
Yeah.
And yeah, as much as I hate to say it, although he's not really a gooner, is he? He's more of a Man United. But Welbeck looked lively.
Always a worry, yeah. But
yeah,
every time I got the ball, I thought, that's it. It's written in the stars. It's going to be ex-Arsenal player, Tottenham to the sword. Every time we play him, right? But fortunately, every time he lets himself down and lets his team down, it's just one of them,
Yeah.
But Trossard, I watched him playing for Belgium the other week. I can't remember who they played now in the nation, and he looked an international player as well. Whereas a few years ago, he was pretty much rubbish. And he's come on, and one of the commentators I was listening to yesterday said he admits he's playing the best football of his life at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that might be a possibility in the future.
Yeah.
But Brighton seem to be commanding quite large fees at the moment. What was it Cucurella went for? 60 million?
Mad money, yeah. Mad money. I haven't been since I think he got sent off. Didn't he get sent off? I can't remember. No, I haven't been following him that much in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know if he's been in or out the team. Yeah. Because I've not been I don't follow Chelsea as much. No, it's not my interest.
I think he was playing yesterday because I was doing some more DIY at home and had Radio 5 Live on. And I'm pretty sure he was involved at some point. As soon as Chelsea went 1-0 up, I switched it off. But
yeah, that was it. Yeah, they're grinding out results now, aren't they? They've gone back to the old Chelsea, So
yeah. And I think Potter is going to be a decent manager for them. They had. I know that everybody always blows loads of smoke up their arse, but what they were saying is that with Graham Potter, you never really know what formation he's going to play. It's not something set. He's he thinks, we play this team. Okay, we'll play 4-5-1. We'll play this team. We'll play 3-5-2. He's definitely a very innovative manager for me.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of talk about him maybe coming to us. I would have been very happy with that.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the he's like Poch was when we got him.
Yeah.
He was maybe Poch was a little bit more straight down the line with his tactics. But he was a forward thinker. And I think that's what Potter will do at Chelsea. Although I hope
he's got the tools there now, hasn't he, to make a team, because he can buy anyone he wants. He can, he's got the cream of the crop. Talent wise.
Still hope they get relegated. But anyway,
always.
But back onto the Spurs. As I said, Brighton were mostly on top. Yeah, not on top, but had more of the possession in the second half. But still, we should have gone 2-0 up with Harry Kane. I was so surprised that he dragged that shot wide. But he hasn't been quite as clinical recently, has he?
I'm worried about it. I don't know. I think he's. I've been talking on that site SC this morning, and he's only got 11 goals to catch up with Jimmy Greaves now.
Yeah.
So it's not in the distance anymore. He could have that done by Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, World Cup is going to slow him down a bit. But,
a Boxing Day would be a nice one, wouldn't it?
Eh?
Boxing Day would be nice.
It would be nice, yeah. But, it's not too long. So I think, if and when he breaks Jimmy's record, I think it's going to be set in stone that it's not going to be beaten by anybody, ever, unless we buy Haaland. But that's the likelihood of that is non-existent, So I don't think that the 266 goals that Jimmy Greaves has got it will be beaten by Harry, but I don't think anywhere else in our lifetime will do it now. I don't. It's just too long. Players don't stay at clubs that long anymore. Yeah,
that's true.
He's done it as a man and a boy. Boy and man. So they always move on. So I just don't. I can't see Harry staying after this year, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's something that's in his head, because
Yeah.
he's hoping to win something just to F you to everybody and out there that says he doesn't win anything. So he's hoping to win something along the way, and he's got the World Cup. But I think he will probably. I think we'll see the last of him. So maybe it's already in motion as we speak. Yeah. I'm hoping they're going to announce that he's going to stay, and sign a new contract. But I don't know. I think sometimes I look at a player and I think his head's turned by something. I called out Walker years ago, and they played a night game against Crystal Palace many years ago. Yeah. On the telly, and I was watching it. I looked at him coming out, and I thought there's something different about him. He looks like he's had his head turned, and lo and behold, within a couple of days, he announced he's off to Man City. It was just abandoned ship, and I thought, you could tell by his body language, And I might be reading too much into it. I really might, but I just get that feeling somewhere.
Who's he going to go to? Because can you see, because City have got Haaland now.
Yeah. Germany, maybe they talk about Germany, Bayern Munich, and all that.
Do you think they won't be able to afford his wages?
There's deals to be made. If he's out of contract, he can, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's just, because I can't see him going to anyone in the Premiership. City don't need him. I'm not sure that Man United could afford him or they would even want him. Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd go there?
I think he'd be tainted if he did.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then that lot who emigrated from Woolwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
that's not going to happen. No.
Yeah. Well,
no amount of money would do that. I mean, they're offering Saka $200,000 a week, a new contract.
Seriously.
For 5 years, $200,000 a week. So their money's tied up for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I still don't understand the hype about Saka.
Yeah.
I don't think he was particularly good in the North London derby. On a day where Hugo didn't make a complete clusterfuck of that challenge or that save, and we had a referee that had not been put under the spotlight by the press for giving. What was that decision that he gave us? Was that against City or something? I can't remember, but he acted quite favourably.
It was the Chelsea game, wasn't it? With the hair pull. Yeah. That was the one where they said he should have been sent off or whatever. That's the one they said he's getting his revenge in, on the strength of that. He owed us one, so.
Yeah.
Back to Cucurella again. See, it all goes round and round.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Saka, we shouldn't be talking about him on there, but I watched the game on. Was it Thursday night? Obviously, yeah.
Okay, against the Norwegians.
And Saka weren't all that. He was running around like a young kid that was raw, And I think, yes, he does some great stuff, but he's not the finished product by any means. And $200,000 a week is a big, So if that's the sort of going rate now, Harry must be worth double. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And as you say, where's the money coming from?
Yeah. Sonny's offside goal. We discussed that beforehand and a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I'd like to have another look at that. I watched it again watched it live yesterday, watched it again on Match of the Day this morning.
Yeah.
Still.
They didn't go in depth with it, did they?
No, I'm unsure about that. And I think they completely swept that under the carpet afterwards. Mr. Lineker was a bit sore that Leicester lost to Bournemouth. But you just know when he's in that position, he reminds me a little bit of Eriksen in his prime years when he used to be on the edge of the box and he'd get past the defender and you just thought this is going in because he could curl it into the top corner.
Yeah.
And that's what that guy can do. I just wish that he'd get his head right. Well, I don't know if it's that his head's not right or maybe he's carrying an injury.
Yeah. Decisions like that don't help either, though, do they? You get a bad decision that goes against you, like they think, the world's against me. Who was the fella that allegedly played him on? Was it Gross? Or Pastor Gross that played him on? I can't remember.
It was,
Yeah, because the feed I was watching, I think I can't remember who it was now. they said that obviously Sonny was making a forward motion and the defender was making a forward motion. So they passed like trains like that. So it was hard to define when the actual point of the offside was. But they didn't put a replay in, and nobody put. I see the one on BBC. I was watching it this morning.
Yeah, same here.
And it wasn't. It just said, "Oh yeah, VR have said it's fine." And I thought, well, normally they sort of like draw the lines, but that'd have been game over, done and dusted, But
yeah.
But I'm glad for the win. That's the main thing,
Yes, yeah. And Welbeck probably should have equalised.
Well, that's Welbeck for you.
I think that was it Romero? Or no, Richarlison played it back into the penalty area, and then Grace knocked it onto Welbeck, and it was a relatively similar chance to the one that Harry Kane put wide, and luckily he put that wide.
What do you think of Richie when he came on?
He looks okay.
Yeah, he's always a handful. When he goes on, he's gonna cause trouble up front. Oh, yeah. That's what you want. Yeah, he's going to take their attention, and they've got to be very careful because you can pick up the ball in the halfway line and make a run. Yeah, I would like to have seen a couple yesterday, but just there wasn't enough time,
Yeah.
But
that who was the back pass by? I think that was Dunk, wasn't it? To Sanchez, who then tried to clear it and it hit Højbjerg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That almost went. Yeah, that almost went in.
That would have been terrific if that one went in. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
That would have been very nice. I think Højbjerg went down at some point in the first half, and I turned around to the missus and I said, "Oh God, looks like Højbjerg's injured. He's limping." And she said, "Oh no, that's not good." I said, "Yeah, there's the World Cup's in the month." And she was like, "You selfish bastard."
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously we're not allowed to talk about the World Cup because we're not allowed to watch it. So.
No.
But yeah, we saw out the win. So let's go on to this. Player ratings. What did you think, Hugo?
Distribution was a lot better this week. I don't know what they actually. I had a quite chuckle during the game because they said he put a bit of backspin on one of his kickouts, and I thought, no, he doesn't usually bother stuff like that. Like he just kicks it out anywhere, anywhere, no man's land, you name it, into the crowd. I just like him to get a bit longevity in the kickouts, because he just kicks it out, just sort of a sideways kick out, The distribution was a lot better. Yeah. He's always going to pull off them top saves. He's going to do that. The shot stopping is always going to be there. It's the silly stuff, that you think. But no, he was good. Yeah, I'd put him down as about 7's a bit harsh, so maybe an 8.
I think I don't think he had a lot to do, did he? He did make a decent save. I can't remember who it was from. But yeah, they seem that you look at it and you think, oh, it's a decent save, or it'll be a decent save for another goalkeeper. But for Hugo, it's like his bread and butter, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think I'd go 8 as well.
Yeah.
Romero.
A bit ragged in parts.
Surprisingly quiet game, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great.
I love the way. The one thing I like about him, he's always very good for. He'll play the ball off their player to get the ball out. He's very good at that. That's one of his. That's one of his trademarks in my mind. You'll see him do it quite a lot. He'll be up the line and he hit the ball onto their player and get the throw or whatever. He's very good at that. It's one of his trademarks, as I say. But he seemed a bit not all there again. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But you don't want him too aggressive because you know what's going to happen next. It's going to be bookings, red cards, and so maybe he's trying to play in a more controlled manner, and it's affecting his game that way.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought that.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're trying to teach him on the training ground.
Yeah.
Instead of all the...
But that's the problem. That's the problem of with a player like that. If you try and rein in his aggression, that's sort of
it's half the player. Yeah.
Yeah, 40 to 50% of his game.
Yeah.
And I also love that he still does those lung busting runs. It's just, how does he do that? He's a centre back, and then he plays the ball out someone out wide, and then the next thing you know, he's on the edge of the area.
And you think, I think, how did he get there?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's popped up and you think, I don't remember seeing that. You know,
Beam me up, Scotty.
excuse me.
Yeah, so what would you give him out of 10?
7, I'd say. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Was he the one who played the long ball for Sonny when he scored his offside goal?
I can't remember.
Was that
Dyer? I can't remember. I was chasing time this morning, so I didn't look at Match of the Day properly, and I can't remember from yesterday. Yeah. That's too long ago for me.
Yeah, I as I said, I had a bunch of kids here last night while I was trying to watch the match, and then I had one this morning while I was trying to watch Match of the Day. So yeah, but Dyer, I don't remember him having to do an awful lot, and I think he did one thing where the ball ricocheted off him and it went straight to a Brighton player, and then they had a shot.
Yeah. He was steady, but I remember one part of it where his game when he went running forward with the ball and he all of a sudden stopped and thought, "What am I doing?" He had that sort of brain fart moment, you know, and nothing came of it, but it just like it ended, you know. I can't remember how it ended, but it just ended because he didn't know what he was doing. He thought, "Am I going too far, or should I step back, or whatever?" And he got overturned, you know, that kind of stuff. But he was steady, you know. That's what you get with him, you know. As playing part of a team in defence and going forward. He's pure steady. You know, you can't knock him for that. But I wouldn't say any more than a 6, 7. 6.5 I'd go just for being there kind of thing and not putting too many feet wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go for a 7. He was, as you say, you know, he's the one who stands up and he's the one who shouts a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's if Hugo leaves. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next captain. Because he seems one of the more vocal in the back line. And he's a calm head.
Yeah.
He's not often rash. I mean, he makes mistakes, but he's not often rash that, you know, he dives in for the ball or stuff like that. He's not a Juan Foyth, let's just say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go for 7. Big Dable. Lovely to see him back.
Yeah.
What did you reckon of him?
I don't know.
I think he looked solid.
Yeah.
And he was getting forward. And, you know, he often drifts out to the left-hand side as well because he's played, obviously, left back and wing back, left wing back. I thought he had a good game. I'd say I'd probably give him a 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Nothing to say about that.
No, I agree totally. Yeah, because all round the team performed as a team yesterday, and that's what I want to see. You know, nothing too spectacular. No giveaways to the other team. I hate, you know, most of our downfall is our own fault. It's you know, it's unforced. It's not because the other teams are great or anything like that. It's because we've undone ourselves, and that's the biggest and worst crime of all to me.
Yeah,
it's been all my life, you know, not all my life, but a great part of my life, you know. Yeah.
And Big Doc.
Yeah, hot and cold, obviously, but I'm glad to see him back in the team because of obviously the Emerson situation. He might benefit from it. He's still raw in bits. I don't know the background about him. I don't know if he's fully fit or expected to be fully fit, but he had some marauding runs. There was one ball he should have released for Ryan. I think was that the one he should have released to Ryan when he had come down the right side and he should have played it square to him. I think was it to Ryan?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Now. I might be talking rubbish, but he had a chance to cross the ball, square the ball, and he failed. Failed miserably. But other than that, it's steady again. And obviously that last minute interception in the box near the end when he took it off. What's his name? Toes. I thought, it's not like us. That's superb defending. Got a good engine on him again, but I'm not sure if he's fully fit. And sometimes the brain's not great, but if he gets another couple of runs in the team over the next couple of games, which he will, it'd be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday now because Emerson Royale will be available for that. Not Tuesday, sorry, Wednesday against Frankfurt. You know, is he going to put him back in or what? I don't know.
Well, after what Conte said, and I think it got lost in translation, but it didn't sound good, did it?
No.
When he said, I'm not mad. I don't want to lose.
Yeah. That's a bit hurtful if that's true.
Exactly.
But,
Is he doing a Mourinho and throwing his player under the bus? He's not. Is he known for that?
No, he wouldn't do. I couldn't see him doing that. I really
Yeah,
couldn't.
so
No.
I think that was lost in translation.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I thought he played well. If he had kept that shot down, we could have well been 1-0 up.
Yeah.
He, as we said before, I think he understands the role better.
Yeah.
Than Royale.
Yeah.
And you look at him when he played for Wolves. You know, he was an absolute monster.
An athlete, proper athlete, yeah.
Mourinho brought him in and played him as a right back.
Yeah.
You know, it's that he's more of an attacking player than he is a defensive player. He's decent at tackling, he's decent at defending, but his skill is to get up the right hand side of the pitch and either put the cross in or have a shot.
Yeah.
So I still think he's a better player than Royale.
Yeah. It's great because it's all about squads now, isn't it? And as a squad player, you know, that's what you want. You want someone who's going to come in short notice or on the swapping in, swapping out players for rotation, that kind of stuff. He's a great man to have for that. But you've got to keep him interested, got to keep him keen. You know, you can't not stick him on the sidelines for 3 months and expect them to turn up and do their business.
No, exactly. The manager was talking about rotation. Hasn't really happened an awful lot, has it?
No.
Do you think that he's just not happy with the players, or that he's just got his favourites like Poch?
Favourites and playing safe. I don't know, but maybe you know, I wouldn't think it's the crowd that sort of made him play 3-5-2 yesterday. You know,
no, he's far too hard-headed for that.
Yeah,
you know, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd be swayed by other people.
Yeah,
I think he must have seen that the 3-4-3 wasn't working.
No.
Or not saying it wasn't working, but it wasn't. It
needs to be a bit more liquid. You know, you can sort of, you know, as and when necessary. What's his name? De Zerbi, is that his name? The Brighton manager, De Zerbi, De
Zerbi.
Yeah, he was quite shocked apparently that they went for 3-5-2. He said he was unprepared for it.
Right. Okay.
In one of the commentaries that I read yesterday or heard yesterday, it took him by surprise, and he had to readjust his setup because of that.
Well, I think they've locked horns 5 times before.
Yeah.
When he was at Sassuolo, and obviously now, and Conte's won 4 of them, and they've drawn 1. So it's
a bit about on Match of the Day after the match when he said after the goal there's only one team in it, and I thought that's a bit unfair. 15 minutes, you know, you're talking your job up now, mate. You know, it's like, you know, yeah.
But on Match of the Day as well, they were saying that one of the things with Potter is how good their passing was.
Yeah.
And their passing was a bit like our passing last week.
Yeah.
Yesterday. It was atrocious.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes. So what would you give for Big Dot then?
I don't want to say 8. I'll say a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll go for a 7.5.
Yeah.
Because I was glad to see him back in the team.
Yeah.
He's obviously got his detractors, not as many as Royale.
No,
I know everyone's
calling. You know, I want to see him as a squad player coming on or starting and being taken off. That comes in rotation wise. I just want him there or thereabouts. Yeah. As a valuable asset for the team. What
do you think is going to happen with Spence?
That's a bit of a worry, that one. I don't know. There's something wrong there, and I don't know what it is. Was he 21, 22?
Yeah. He's come in with a reputation as being a bit of a troublemaker.
Yeah.
I think everybody, when they come into a club, they need to come in with a clean slate.
Yeah.
Another of the problems that I've heard possibly is that it wasn't a Conte signing. That it was a Mr. Levy signing because he wants to, buy him cheap and then sell him at an absolute premium. But if he's not going to be played, how are you going to get a premium for him?
Yeah, you got to have him in the shop window, ain't you? One way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like Marcus Edwards, though, isn't it? You know, you had him all there. He was the talent for the future and everything, and he was a bit of a gangster on the quiet, and you know that's why they didn't want to take the chance of him. They sort of said, oh, no, you know, too much of a risk. So, but Spencer's there, and he's there, and now, I mean, would he kind of surprise us and like, stick him in a League Cup game in a couple of weeks' time, in the Caribou or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Playing in
that? Forest.
Oh, yeah, of course,
yeah, Forest again, yeah. So.
Yeah, I can remember back in 1996, we played them in was it the League Cup or the FA Cup, and it got snowed off.
Yeah.
That was just before I was heading off to Israel to volunteer on a kibbutz.
Yeah.
And I had a bet with a guy in our local pub who was a Forest fan that we were going to do them, and I think we got done 2-0. I never paid him. I never saw him again.
Not watching, I hope.
I would have thought so. I think he's dead now.
All right.
Okay, Sessegnon. A lot of people were saying, Sky gave him man of the match yesterday.
No.
I thought he played well. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
He's strong, and now he's strong with the ball, strong running, but end product still a little bit lacking again, I think, you know. Open to brain farts, but not too bad. But he's young still. He's still young, and that's what you got, you know. He's learning his trade still, but I'm impressed with his power and his strength. Yeah. It's the crosses. I mean, there was one cross he aimed at when I went straight out over the other side at one point. I can't remember which one it was now. He overhit it so much.
Yeah.
But, no, great. But I'd still only say a 7, I think, to be honest.
Yeah. Gordon Bennett, we've got 2 people watching. Welcome. Give it a like and a subscribe if you want to jump on.
I know it's not my missus because she's in the other room. So
I have no clue who it is, but that's all good. If you want to jump on, the link is in the chat. It'd be great to have a chinwag with you. So what score do you think you give him?
A 7. Yeah. Steady 7. That's it. Yeah. You know.
I don't think I give him much higher than a 7.
Yeah.
Where do you think that came from? That they were saying? Do you think they're trying to big him up for the England team? Or
I wouldn't have thought he's that standard yet. There's too many other there ahead of him. You know, the likes of Reece James and that sort of stuff. You know.
Yeah. Is Reece James? Is he left back or right back?
Well, I've seen him playing both. So
really?
That's why I said it. Yeah.
Okay. Coming on to my man, Mr.
Hoybier. Yeah. How difficult? What do you being of Danish extraction, so we say?
Yeah.
And probably fluent in Danish and probably Dutch. And
unfortunately not.
No, not really. No. I'm just curiosity factor. The other day I thought he's very commanding and everything else with the English. How difficult it is for a Danish person to speak English? That's what one of those sort of.
I don't think it's the difficulty. It's the age when they start learning.
All right.
They start learning, I think, in Denmark. When I was over there, to go off on a bit of a tangent, I went over there in '98 to go and learn the language.
Yeah.
And my auntie, God rest her soul, was a teacher.
Yeah.
And they had a class which had refugees in it. So there was Afghans and Somalians and Palestinians and Russians and stuff like that. So I went in there, but I was invited to go to, I think they were 9 years old.
All right.
Their class in an English lesson to go and speak English. And I'd say 75 to 80% of them could have a decent conversation, just basic conversation in English at that age.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Dutch. Obviously, my daughter, she's 6 years old, and I can't even talk in private with my wife now. She understands everything.
Yeah.
But it's because English is one of the main languages that they do teach them very young.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it amazes me. He's got the dialogue. He's got everything. He's got it all down to pat. He's total as if you would think he would be an English-speaking person. First language. Yeah.
Well, it's like what's Jan Molbu? You remember Molby used to play for Liverpool? I mean, he spoke English with a Scouse accent. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But as we were saying earlier, due to playing 3 in the middle, he was everywhere.
Yeah,
he was
box to
back
box.
defending, but he didn't have to worry too much about that, and he was foraging forward like he does for the Danish national team.
Yeah.
How did you rate his performance there?
Box to box and thing. I think overall rating, without making him too big, I'd say 8.5. I don't want to go any higher than that because he'll start tailing off if I give him superlative ratings. I think 8.5 is a reasonable.
Well, that is one thing that the Danes have been accused of, is arrogance.
Yeah.
I don't count myself as one of those, but I think I'd go for a 10.5, 11.
Right. You got me there for a second. What was you on about? Yeah, well, of course you would. Yeah. I'll have to revisit Doherty's rating, and if that's what you want.
No, I'll go for. Yeah, I think I'd go for an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, 8.5. Yeah. I was very pleased with him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a leader, and he controls a lot around him.
He reminds me a little bit of Edgar Davids.
Yeah.
Just the whole, he will drag people to the end of the 90 minutes and make sure that they give their all.
Yeah. Graham Roberts, Perryman, that kind of player. He's got what's the word? Swashbuckling kind of character. You rampage up and down the pitch, and when other people are half on their legs and tiring and that, and come on, let's get some more out of you. That kind of stuff. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
A bit of urgency.
Yeah.
And it concerns games and belief and everything else.
Yes. Yeah. And Mr. Rodrigo Bentancur.
Well, he's silky, isn't he? He really is. Yeah, he's got such a talent. Sometimes he just takes his mind off the game just for a second, and you'll see it in his play. But most of the time, his talent, his movement, the ground he covers is another one. Or he can be defensive, he can be acres of room, but then when to play the ball backwards, forwards, side. He can do it a lot. Very, very good. I was very impressed with him yesterday.
Yeah.
As you say, unlucky to not score that goal. That one they actually thought. I don't know. Was it BBC? They thought it got a deflection when it didn't. It actually moved in the air.
Swerved. Yeah. It was like a Roberto Carlos job, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. That's that natural talent he's got. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's the great thing about him is, as you say, he's silky, but he's also willing to get stuck in, and he's a good tackler. His close ball control. Yeah, I remember him getting the ball yesterday, and there were 2 Brighton players not more than sort of a metre away, and he just sort of shifted it with his feet and got past them. Yeah, I think he lost the ball after that. But still, it's with our 4 options in central midfield, I think if we can keep hold of them, we're going to be good for a fair few years.
You've been keeping it, yeah. It reminds me a bit of slightly a bit like Corluka. That sort of.
He does have that same sort of running style, doesn't he?
Yeah, that sort of long gait to him, Languid,
Languid, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that sort of style, but he's got that ball control with it as well, and it's very reminiscent of Corluka as well. Yeah. I'd love to see him score a goal. I really would. Hopefully, he get one soon. So
yeah,
another one. Yeah,
good. So what are you giving him?
Same 8.5. I don't want to start giving out these 9s.
Yeah,
not this moment in time.
Yeah, I think I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah.
Bissouma, going back to his old club.
Yeah.
Been so much hype about this guy, and unfortunately, he either hasn't been fit or he hasn't really tuned in as yet to the way that we're playing.
Good in parts.
Yeah, he gave the ball away a couple of times yesterday. But overall, I think it was pretty solid. Decent in the tackle. Short passing.
You can only improve. Yeah. He got booked again, you see. This is the problem. So the silly bookings, the soft bookings like that, and you might as well say he's out of the game because he's not controlling the game. If you can do that, all well and good.
Yeah, the big thing that I heard about him is his passing, his range of passing. I've yet to see that.
Yeah.
From what I was hearing from some Tottenham fans who'd seen him play 5 minutes for Brighton, he could pass like Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah.
that doesn't seem to have happened yet. But again, it's early days, and at least he's showing that he wants to play. Maybe he's got a niggling injury. Obviously, that whole court case hanging over his head, that's not going to be good for him.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's been cleared of that.
Yeah.
From what I heard, he was actually there. He wasn't actually the one who was doing it.
Well, press always love a story, don't they? So
yeah, exactly.
This is it.
Yeah. And you don't know what's happened unless you're actually there. So but I think I'd give him 7.
6.5. I'll go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll downgrade him a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But hoping for more in the future.
Yes. Yeah. Harry.
He's still off his game, isn't he? You know that. But he's always going. He's like, as we said about Sonny. No matter how much you can slag him, moan him, love him, hate him, he can score a goal at any moment in time. This is what you get with him. Yeah. And if you get 1, you can get 2, you can get 3. Bang, bang, bang. With
I actually thought he played some decent passes yesterday.
Yeah.
Not as good as obviously we expected to be, but that pass for Son, when he was out on the right side, and then he passed it into Sonny.
Yeah.
That was, his ball skills and his vision is absolutely brilliant, and I have to say, it is a pleasure watching him.
Oh yeah.
Since he's been a kid,
even I remember.
I think I was. I think it was his Europa League debut against Hearts where we drew 0-0. He missed the penalty.
All right.
He was 18, I believe.
Yeah. I know they played Shamrock Rovers way back then in them days as well.
Yes, yeah, we did. Yeah. We beat Hearts 5-0 up there, the first leg, and then the second leg I decided to go along. And it was 0-0. It was absolutely freezing. The South Stand was half empty. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, it's 5 loyalty points, whatever.
Yeah.
On the membership.
Yeah.
Wasn't the greatest game. And then I turned around and I looked up at the executive boxes. Yeah. And I was like, 90. And he was like, yes. And it was one of my mates who's an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
But his mate had a season ticket as in corporate or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said to him, what are you doing here? We met afterwards. He was like, oh, yeah, my mate, we get free food and I can come watch the football. And I think he went to about 10 games that season. I don't think he went to Arsenal once.
Oh, no.
But, yeah.
Was that the ones in the East Stand now or the...
Yes, I don't even know where it is now. I think that in the South Stand you've got the 1882 as well up the back.
All right.
Where you can go in and get your free drink at half time if you can get to the bar, and free food if there's any left.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, so
rating for Harry. Rating for Harry. You didn't do
sorry, yes, rating for Harry.
8. I'd go 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the goal. Yeah, green. But that's what he's there for. That's what he's getting paid the big bucks for.
I think I agree. I think even though he wasn't great, in my opinion, he was. He ran Højbjerg close for man of the match.
Yeah,
just those passes, and he skewed a shot wide. That header, that was a difficult header, and that was pretty close, but it went wide.
Yeah. It was also an emotional day for them all as well, you see, and you could tell afterwards that I saw a video he made on the coach. I think it was on the coach or whatever it was on the way back home last night. It was near the end, and he was saying, "We've done this for you," and all this and all that. It was quite emotional, He's pretty teared up, and that was late at night last night. I saw that one. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I said it an 8, didn't I? Yeah. So. Sonny's
a bit middling diddling at the moment, isn't he? But 7.5, I'd say. But we've discussed him already, and he does some great stuff and he does some strange stuff. But as I say, he was robbed of the goal, I think. But it's an assist again, so you get that. I look at all the teams down the ages, and that's that's what you get with Spurs. You got to be grateful for the win. You can't play well-beaten stuff every week. You've got to grind out some of these results. And it seems like Brighton now, they're not mugs anymore. You're not going to roll them over. You can roll them over. you know. But they've got pride and they've got other stuff going on in their, in their world, and they emulate a lot of stuff, And I can't remember who it was now. One of the Brighton players tried to do a Hoiberg spin yesterday. I saw that. I don't know if you saw that on the, that like pirouette, when he takes the ball and the drag back, One of their players done it. I thought, oi. I said, what? That's a Hoiberg stunt. What are you doing, But they're no mugs anymore, They call the facilities, the training and everything else. And to beat them, you got to be on your game.
Against Liverpool.
Yeah.
I really thought they were going to win that match. That was
2-0 up and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Potter's definitely left some good foundations there.
Yeah.
We'll obviously have to wait and see how the new manager does, but they're a decent side. And I have to say, I've always had a great laugh when I've gone out in Brighton.
Yeah.
So
I went my first ever what do you call it, Beano. I went there. I went there down there in 1972. I was only 16. And then those were the days when there was no all-day drinking or anything like that. We went down there on a coach from, I think it was Islington, because that's where we worked, and all lads and everything.
Yeah.
Went to Brighton, and of course, then the pub shut at 2 o'clock. But then somebody who knew somebody got us into a club in the middle of nowhere, and it's one of them sort of occasions. But I was sort of off my face by about 8 o'clock, but then I sort of come back round, and we were in a sort of a halfway house, halfway back to London, and how I got home, I don't know, But, that's that long ago. That's 50 odd years. Yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah. I think it's changed a bit since then.
Probably. I don't think I'll be back, actually, come to think of it.
Oh, really? One of my mates had his stag do down there. Absolutely brilliant weekend. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was great fun.
There's a mate of mine went down there for, he's been gone 10 years, but he went down there about 20 years ago. They had the nudist beach down there, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
And he brought his family down on this nudist beach, and he took a load of photos of his kids, but the kids were all framed so he could take photos of the people walking past with no clothes on. He was such a perv.
Oh, God. I didn't want to know that, Kev.
Yeah, I know, but it just seems like it just so happens every time he took a photo of his kids on making sandcastles, there's a bird walking past in the nude, So how he planned it, I don't know, But,
oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, the substitutes. Richie.
He done a Harry Redknapp, didn't he? Got on there and ran about a bit, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's all you want. Yeah. It's late in the game. Well, getting on to be late in the game, and you just want someone with a bit of energy to tie up their defence a little bit, and make a nuisance of yourself.
Yes, yeah. And he always does that, doesn't
he? Yeah.
He's,
yeah.
So,
breaking
for
up
20 minutes, what would you give him?
Well, 6.5. That's all he's worth, really, for that yesterday, I think. Yeah, because he didn't. It was a cameo, really. It wasn't full on.
Yeah. I think I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, they were consolidating the game by then. It was not out and out like let's go mad and try and get another one. We sort of take one if we get one, but we don't want to really want to hold on to what we got.
Yeah.
And that was the move. Yeah.
And Perisic and Skip, they had 10 minutes and about 5.
Yeah. Perisic is steady. He's class. You just know he's class.
Yeah.
It doesn't always come off, but he's been rusty, and he's still getting used to the Premier League as well. He's been played in Germany, he's been played Italy, Spain. So he plays European, and the Premier League is a different ball game.
Yes.
He will get there in the end, A cameo again, I'd say 6, because that's, you can't evaluate a player that well with a short time like that, as far as I can make that anyway, Yeah. Great to see Skippy was great. Yeah, he was tidy, done exactly what he wanted. Another one that I heard Hoiberg and urges on the players within minutes of stepping on the field. You can see he's a future leader on the pitch. As long as he can keep fit, he's going to be there for a nice few years.
Yeah, as long as we can keep him as well.
Yeah,
I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah. Well, he's apparently, as you say, he's a Hertfordshire boy, so he's north of London, and
he's Hemel Hempstead, isn't he?
When in Garden he was born, but he's a Hertford lad where I lived for 25 years. Yeah, I know some of his family up there that way. Yeah. So,
oh, really? Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. So, man of the match.
Man of the match. Well, Hoiberg. I shall have to go. As much as you want me to say it, I will have to say Hoiberg, I think, because of the way he controlled the game. Yeah. And the urging on. I won't give it to Harry. No, Harry got the goal, but Harry got the goal, but I think Hoiberg.
Yeah. I agree.
In truth. Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. I know you will anyway. you like? Yeah.
Okay, and on to something a little bit sadder.
Yeah.
It's been a sad week for the club.
Yeah.
With Gian Piero Vetroni and our fitness coach and John Duncan, a former striker in the 70s, passing away.
Yeah.
I'd just like to send my condolences to both of their families.
Yeah.
John Duncan,
I'll second that for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. John Duncan, I have to say I didn't know an awful lot about. I think he was playing around the time I was born.
Yeah.
But those were the bad old days in the late 70s.
They were grim. They were grim times. There was, we had the joys of the glory days of the 60s, the early 60s, then the FA Cup. So we were still a cup side and won the League Cup and the UEFA Cup and then the League Cup again. And we were there and then Rotterdam, and it all went down for Rotterdam after losing that UEFA final. It just went, it was wilderness years, Yeah. We still supported them, thick and thin, up and down the country, thousands of us, going everywhere. But he was a shining light in that time, Injury prone for 1 year, he hardly played at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very few appearances 1 year. But he's one of them sort of. I likened him to when you have a Scottish player in your team, sometimes you get that fire in your belly. We have Archibald, Mackay.
Yeah.
When you get one of them Scottish players, that's Gilzine, they've got that certain thing about them that's sort of like charisma. I can't describe it. We had Goff, as we were talking about earlier. There's a certain drive.
Jury,
yeah.
There's a toughness as well, isn't it?
Who?
A toughness.
Yeah, there's a certain resolve and like the attitude and aggression, but controlled aggression in most cases. Not Willie Young aggression. But it's a drive they had. And John Duncan had it in 3 or 4 years, but injury prone. He left because of injury. But the one they were talking about it on the other site this morning about he was the manager of Chesterfield.
Yes, I was going to say that.
When they got cheated out of that semi-final.
Was it against Borough? Was it
Middlesbrough? Yeah. And,
I remember. I still remember that, and I was because I had a quick look on Wikipedia today about it, and I didn't realise that he was the manager then. But what
I knew it, but I've forgotten about it. Yeah, that's
a fairy tale, absolute fairy tale that was.
Yeah, but another one. Yeah.
And Gian Piero, as you've seen, a lot of the players very emotional about his passing away. Only 61.
That's so sudden, isn't it? So sudden. To be
some kind of acute leukemia, from what I've heard. I don't know, but
sudden.
So that's the players came out yesterday, and I think they did him proud.
Yeah,
they did it for him, and
lovely to see.
So rest in peace, guys.
Yeah,
or rest in power.
Yeah. They won't be forgotten.
No. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to chat about, Kev?
No, that's it for today. You told me we're having a short one as well, by the way. I was just looking at the time. What you like?
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't planning on doing the player. I was just going to do the man of the match thing, but we did the player ratings and that went a bit long. So
yeah.
But as usual, thank you very much for giving up your Sunday morning to have a chat about Spurs.
Yeah.
Well appreciated.
Yeah. Well,
and everybody, if you like what you see, please subscribe, hit the like and the little bell thingy. That will let you know when we're on next. Hopefully, no, we won't. I won't be doing one next week because I'm back in the motherland to celebrate my mother's 80th birthday and my father's 78th.
Yeah.
So
today, isn't it? I think
week after, but I am not sure because we get back quite late on Saturday night. So I'll have to see how I feel in the morning.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
But
I'll make a few notes for a few.
Sorry?
I'll make a few notes for future discussion. We've got Frankfurt and then Everton. So
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, you Spurs. Have a lovely Sunday. Cheers, Kev.
Yeah. Cheers in. Bye.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Bye.